It's a Daily Talk Show, episode 392, and
It's Weekend Banter. What's happening, guys? What's going on?
We got Scooter. Derek is in the building.
Dirty Desmond, how are you, mate?
Hey guys, I'm fantastic.
Mate, you're turning into a puppy dog.
What does that mean?
Like, look at him. Just the hair and the beard. I don't know.
A bit shaggy.
No. A schnauzer.
Schnauzer.
My mate's schnauzer had epilepsy.
Oh, no.
Poor little fucker. Just
It sounds like a kind of a gun that a Nazi would carry.
A schnauzer.
Do you know what a
Yeah.
schnauzer is?
It's like a small Airedale.
I don't know. I shouldn't have asked. They're just a little,
little
dog.
woolly dog.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've got like these little
Beard.
Yeah, they've got
Yeah, like a
moustaches.
moustache, yeah.
I tell you,
Is it the chum dog?
It's my dog.
No, it's not.
I've
your
got a
dog.
miniature schnauzer.
do you have a miniature schnauzer?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a schnauzer expert in the building. Do you think he kind of looks a bit like schnauzer?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Welcome to Weekend Banter.
Are you okay? This is why you don't do any
No, but
intros.
welcome, Desmond. It's a pleasure to have you here today, mate.
I'm absolutely stoked to be here.
Yeah.
Not just to be here on your show,
Mm-hmm.
but especially the Weekend Banter. One of the early. How many guests have you had on Weekend Banter?
You'll be our fifth.
Oh,
Second.
fuck, I want
This
to be
is the
first.
second
what do you think of
Saturday.
that? It's Gemma, Pete, Bree, Amy, you.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty good.
It's pretty
That's
good.
That's a good crew.
I mean, you were listening early on to the Daily Talk Show. I go through my Instagram and there is footage of you talking to the camera while on Punt Road.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I reckon that was before I'd even actually met you. Maybe.
I mean, that's not to say much because you haven't met a heap of people that we speak with
yeah.
through our podcast.
Yeah.
like what's his name up in Sydney?
Oh, Trev.
We've never met Trev.
Yeah, not in IRL.
Never met in real life. We're thinking about sending up 3D Deal to stay at his place. But we know what happens to wives that 3D Deal encounters.
oh, steady. Oh.
No, but he's
Tell me
serious.
about it.
What episode? What was your first episode that you listened to of our show?
Oh, it's a really tricky one because I'm a little bit older than you guys, only a touch, but I don't remember shit. Right?
I think
I
it's
know
fair to
I
say
was
that
post butt squeegee thing. I don't remember that one, but
Well,
I
that
went
was
back and
early
had a
days.
listen, of course, when it was referred to.
Yeah,
But
and
it
what
was-
he's referring to is episode 14. Should you wish to look into our
14.
archives?
Well, I had a meeting with someone the other day who was keen to come on the show. And then I said, how did you what episode did you start listening? Never asked that question.
No.
Did you say never asked that question?
Yeah, never asked that question.
Never asked
Because
that question.
they're like, I haven't had a chance yet to get into it, which begs a question. If you're going to ask to be on someone's podcast, is it etiquette that you at least
Yeah.
fucking listen to one?
Yeah, definitely. If you ask them to come on, I don't think that they're under any obligation to sit through
absolutely.
your drivel
No.
that you've done before.
However.
But if they say, "Can I come on?" then most definitely. If you don't do a little bit of homework and find out at least their format or their structure, then you're a twit.
Have you had anyone that's, because you've got a few podcasts, hang on to your hat.
Yep.
Gangbusters.
Gangbusters.
It is like, you're playing in a specific area, which is fatherhood and dads, but anyone can be interested in it. Have you had anyone being like, I'm a dad, can I be on your show? Where
Yeah,
you've
Tommy.
No, mate.
No, we haven't. Asking for guests is a really big step in having a podcast that has guests.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's hard to do, and the confidence kind of is exponential.
What's stopping you though? Because you can
At
just
first, you go, "Oh, well, I don't want to use them up too soon."
yeah.
Because they're going to say no because they're going to go, how many episodes? Do you go?
I-
3, and so as it goes on, the confidence is it's exponential. Like
Yeah.
it goes up and up
I
because
would-
you've got a product.
I would say my observation is podcasting is easier to get guests on than most things.
Yeah, definitely.
I think people still see this sort of glossiness to podcasting. Like I've seen people on other people's podcasts and I've thought, what the fuck? But it's like, but then I'm like, okay. It's about the format. Like I think we've had a bunch of people it was their first podcast. Yeah, and so it's
I've
like
had that heaps. Yeah,
not everyone has been on one. I think it's a place where you get to sort of explore someone's life and thinking, and people like that.
and there's absence of that terror of what you say is done is out there forever. Like, okay, that's not absent today, thanks to your live stream, right? But people are a lot more likely to say, yeah, all right, I'll give it a go. Especially when you do you guys don't, but I do the thing where I go, look, if you suddenly go on a rant about your ex-wife and then realise it's going to lose you $100,000, then it's fine. I'll whip it out.
Have you had to delete?
Yeah, I have.
stuff?
I've dropped an entire episode.
Why?
It was someone just went and checked their
Lawyer?
yeah, pretty much their
Parole officer.
employment contract. They were in the public sector, and it was a bit on the Israel Folau. It wasn't hate, but it was he was referencing, as we always do sooner or later, drug use.
I mean,
So therefore it was like, I'm a bit uneasy about that. And I said, I can chop it all out. And in the end I went, you know what? Don't worry about it. Come back in. We'll have a chat. We had a great chat. Let's not fuck it up. Let's go have another chat. Cover the topics we were covering anyway and don't sweat it.
that's why I just like having our own thing that we can do it. We're not going to get fired anywhere.
For now.
It's nice.
I mean, we also have Mr. 97 joining us at the table as well if you're listening to the audio version.
Schnauzer expert is in. Mr. 97, I walked in here today. So I walked from probably about 5Ks in.
You didn't just, I thought you meant you walked into the office, but you actually walked.
So I took Bodie to the dirt jump park and had him hitting some hills. Loved it. But then I was on Chapel Street and Amy was going to drop me in at the studio, but then I was like, I'll just take him home because you're closer to home and I'll just walk down Chapel Street.
Beautiful.
Couple of things. I was walking next to this woman with a dog. The dog was getting a lot of attention. It was a chow chow.
A lot of dog chat.
Blue tongue. I think dog chat's probably better than podcast chat on a Saturday's weekend banter. I reckon we just steer clear of the podcast chat.
What about food chat, Josh?
Food chat's probably more relevant for
I
a
had
weekend
baked
banter.
eggs.
Baked
this
eggs.
morning.
Disappointed?
$22? No, we were in the suburbs 17.
That's it. That's not bad.
Which includes chorizo.
That's fucking. No, that's a bargain. Jesus.
Very good. And so it was a blue. The dog had a blue tongue.
Yeah, chow chows have blue tongues. They look like mini teddy bears. They're walking. They're like a Japanese dog or some Asian breed, and they are fucking expensive. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Really?
Probably $3,000 for a good one.
Yeah.
3 to 5.
Yeah, blue tongue's weird though.
Yeah, they're fucking weird looking things. Anyway, I was thinking.
Are we getting bogged down on the blue tongue?
No. Everyone's got their price. I was just thinking to myself, how much do you reckon this woman would have to be paid for her dog right this minute? What would you? What
Wait, for what?
For the dog.
To get rid of the dog.
Like if I go, I got $1 million
okay,
cash on me right now. $1 million. Will you give me a dog? Like, do you
Nah, because they become part of the family. So like, I wouldn't give my dog up for like $1 billion.
$1 billion?
No,
you are so fucking stupid.
No,
is that the
dumbest?
No, dead serious. You have to once you have a dog, you realise.
I've had a dog.
Yeah.
It died. And its name's Molly.
And you would have preferred $1 billion.
Yeah, I would have 100% if I'd cashed in.
But Mr. 97, let's just flush this out.
Okay.
Flush it out. Flush it out of your system.
Flesh it.
And then flush it out.
Upside
Think
down?
about it. Think about it.
Yeah.
You've got, let's say $1 billion. That was your number that you said you'd reject, you fuckwit.
I mean, these games are silly though.
I
Because
know, but this is fun.
But it always goes into, because Brie asked me like about sucking someone off and how much and then apparently if I say under $500,000, I'm all of a sudden got gay tendencies. No, like
I knew it.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit like it's almost
It's
so
10 grand.
It's in trap.
It's 10 grand. Brie, get over it. 10 grand.
No,
Maybe I've got to go up with inflation.
So let's say your schnauzer, some kind of casino tycoon has got $1 billion because he loves your puppy and he wants it.
Yeah.
But think about that, like the money. Think about what you could do with it. Think about how much you could help the world. Even if you said, I'm going to donate 90% of this, you still got $100 million.
good math.
It's fucking, we're working with a pretty round number.
Question for you, Tom. This example, is this for the chow chow person or anyone with a dog?
I just saw it and I was like, thinking, imagine. I think everyone's got their number.
Yeah.
But if someone's got a chow chow, they're probably $1 million might not mean as much to them as someone with a ratty old ex
Whatever.
Well, I mean,
Jack Russell.
I mean, the Chow Chow's better looking than his Schnauzer.
No offense.
His Schnauzer's probably got problems. You got any problems?
No, she's sweet.
Any kind of
Health issues. No.
No.
doesn't like any kinds of food?
No, she eats everything.
No wonder he doesn't want to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
It's a dream dog.
I mean, in all seriousness, there would be a price, but
Yeah.
but you don't, because it seems so silly.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it'd be comparable to giving away Bodhi.
No, it's not, mate. It's
Well,
a fucking
no, but it
human
is for
being.
me.
Yeah, but
It's
for
human
$1 billion,
trafficking. Human trafficking. I cannot sell my son. You're legally allowed to sell your fucking dog.
Yeah, that's it. He's got a fair
I've
point.
got a vet. Have you got a pet?
I've got
What do you got?
I got 2 guppies.
What's a guppy?
It's a very small fish, and it doesn't have any life worth. Like I don't have any connection to it.
So you take
emotionally.
$1,000.
I'll maybe take about 8 because they cost me 4, and that's doubling your money.
No, I like the idea of fish. The problem with fish is the changing of the water filters.
I mean, let's ask,
what do you mean?
It's not a thing. I thought of another fun game while
Is it really not is it similar to the dry ice? You need a license. Could I get away with having a fish without a filter?
Okay, I'll tell you how you do this. You get not sea snails. Just get snails for the tank, and they clean the tank.
Is this true?
I had fish. I didn't have fighting fish. Did you say you? No, you
No,
got
no,
goldfish.
these little-
Guppies.
The guppies are tropical, which means you have to have the warmer stick and the filter and all the business.
The heater.
You definitely found on the side of the road.
No,
The fish tank.
It's Clover's. I bought it all for my daughter's
Okay.
birthday, but it saved me
What's your daughter's name?
thousands
Clover's.
of dollars.
What's your daughter's name?
Clover?
It is actually.
I
How
like
did
that
I not
name.
know that?
I didn't know that either.
Well,
When you
is
said
it-
Clover's first, I thought you meant that's like a Clover's pet shop or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
down
The
the road.
legendary left-wing mayor of Sydney.
Hang on, you've got Thomas and Clover.
That's right.
How'd you
You're
land
saying
on-
I've only got one weird name and one normal
Yeah,
name.
but how'd you land on Thomas and then Clover? I like Clover. I think Clover's more creative and beautiful than Thomas, to
Well,
be honest.
Clover could be a celebrity. Clover's going to be at what's that festival that everyone goes to? Music festival?
What,
Coachella?
Coachella?
No, Coachella.
Oh, yeah,
Clover
yeah.
would go to Coachella.
Every second generation of my family, in the males, have been called Tom
Okay.
for longer than anyone knows.
Thomas, legal?
And every
Legal
other
name?
generation is called William. And it's flipped over like that. So my dad's called Tom, and his grandfather was called Tom, and his grandfather was called Tom.
Mm.
And the other ones, my brother was meant to be called William, but it was the 60s and they called him Russell instead.
When in the
Sucked-
60s,
sucked
call him
in.
Russell. And
So that was always going to, I just said, look, that's how we're going to roll. If
Yeah.
you're cool with that. And Fiona goes, yeah, it's all right.
But then now
Yeah,
Tom
right.
has to take that down
He doesn't.
if he chooses to have children.
He doesn't have to do anything.
Doesn't have to do it. So
Fuck
tell
it.
us, Clover, how'd you get to that name?
I don't know. Fiona came up with it.
And you
We were
were
thinking about names, girl names, when she was pregnant with Tom, because it was like that. Don't tell us the gender thing.
Mm.
But I've told you that story before. Have I?
No.
When they do the scan thing and they go, do you want to know the gender? And you go, and Fiona goes, no. And I said, well, I do, but you got no rights. Like I go, I want to know. I mean it. I want to know. I
Yeah.
don't like surprise. I just want to fucking know.
Yeah.
I
Right?
found
I don't
out.
want to get bundles of girl clothes
Yeah.
given
You
to
need
me
to start
by everyone,
preparing the
and
reveal.
then have to get rid of them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the burnout reveal?
Yeah, the
The burnout
Queensland.
reveal. We went on fire.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. Oh, and they must have poured some shit
It was
under the tire.
Someone did a burnout and it was blue smoke everywhere. But the car went on fire. They got arrested. It was pretty good.
Gender reveals, for whatever reason, do go horribly wrong. Something happened similarly
Yeah.
in California where a huge forest fire due to
that's
gender, because they were doing people get into pyrotechnics and stuff. But anyway, so did you get to find out?
No. Well, what happened was the person who did the scan, who obviously saw the dick.
Well,
But-
so
but
to
we
be
don't know
fair,
what a dick
Oh, this
looks
is for
like.
Thomas.
they don't
For the
know.
first one.
They what they say. It's like, I can be 70% sure.
Anyway, so we went to leave that area, and there's the airlock door that you can't get into without pressing a button, sort of thing, in the hospital scanning place.
And you just saw a
So we walked out. And Fiona was walking in front. And I pushed the door open, and she walked through. And then I pulled it closed to lock her out,
Ah,
right, and ran back in and caught up with the they probably thought I was a weirdo, or I was a weirdo. And I ran back into the scanning person who was just going back to their tea room, in between doing scans. I
Having an aunt.
Hey, excuse me, what's the gender? I want to know the gender, right? And the person looked at me like behind on a horror movie when they go, and they go, they're looking at someone and then they look kind of, they open their gaze a bit more, like with fear.
Like something's
Like
behind
there's a
you.
monster behind me. And I went, and I looked around, Fiona's standing right there, right behind me going, what are you doing? She'd got back in and
So you
caught
never
me.
found out?
Never found out. So we were that leads us back, closes that other loop. So I was sitting around in the bar that I'd just bought and we were trying to decide what to call the bar.
Well, you bought a bar.
Like years ago, I bought
Northcote.
a bar.
Northcote?
Yeah, it was called Willow.
Mhm.
So which is the punchline. So thanks. So we, thanks for nothing. So we,
You didn't have to say the punchline.
sorry.
Well, you
were
could have said
about to
that
say
it
what
wasn't
bar
the-
was it?
So is the punchline going to be, and we called it, what's the bar called? I've already forgotten the
Yeah,
punchline.
Willow. Good.
Willows.
Anyway, go.
We're
go.
sitting there and I really love the name Willow for a baby girl.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love it. I love it. Known a couple of nice Willows over the
Oh,
years.
but that's the name of the bar.
Well, that's the point. So we're sitting at the bar, and my head's just. We're supposed to be working out names of the bar, but my head's just trying to go over names for girls. And I went, I really like Willow as a name. What do you think, guys?
Mm.
And they go, yeah, that's perfect, baby. And so it was like it ended up being the bar name.
So you called the bar Willow.
My partners went, yep, done. I love it, Willow.
But a willow sounds like should have a sister named Clover. They feel like they're in the sort of same realm.
That's where I
Botanical.
thought it was going. But what you're saying is you called the bar Willow instead of your daughter.
Both of them are noxious weeds in Australia.
Obnoxious.
Willow,
And-
noxious. And
How do you spell it?
N-O.
Noxious.
Yeah, noxious. Like a
3D deal. Can you please look up the word noxious?
Yep.
noxious weed.
It's the opposite to
It's a weed, like
obnoxious.
what's that one that gets all over the hills and everything? I can't remember.
Bamboo is a big
Patterson's
one.
Curse. Bamboo, yeah, it's like that. Willow trees, they planted them. They grow along riverbanks.
They're
and they kind of-
beautiful and they sort of
they
drag
look
down.
beautiful,
They
but
look
in Australia
amazing.
they fuck up the waterways.
Do they?
Yeah, they suck all the water out.
You can pull off the sort of long sort of, they look like cords and you can just whip.
They're
You can
great.
just get whipped.
They're awesome,
I used to
beautiful
whip
trees,
kids with them.
but they don't belong here. And clover's similar.
Did we
Well,
find
that
out what
doesn't work.
noxious was, 3D deal?
Yeah, so noxious is an adjective meaning harmful, poisonous, or very unpleasant. And
Don't call your daughter that, mate. That's fucking disgusting.
It's too late now, isn't it?
and on the willow trees, it is illegal to sell or plant willows in Australia, with the exception of the Salix babylonia, weeping willow, and subspecies of pussy willow.
yeah, we knew that.
So there you go.
There's a few
There's
trees.
the backstory.
Isn't it funny? There's these trees. They used to be called black boys,
That's
and
right.
now I think it's pretty. I don't think people call them black
Called
boys.
native grass tree.
Okay, but they get stolen, so they're like a native to the coastline. They're beautiful. They're like
Oh,
sort
they're
of
all
like
through the Grampians everywhere.
really.
Yeah.
They kind of look like they're like a black stem, like they and then just like a little.
They're expensive as fuck. I remember
Really
our
expensive.
next door neighbours. It's a weird thing when we moved house when I was a kid and we went to a posh neighbourhood. It's funny what people obsess over. It's like expensive plants. Like they'll say we had a palm tree in our backyard.
Oh yeah.
And that was sort of our flex. But for the next door neighbours, we called them black boys. And
Black
what
boys,
are they
yeah,
called?
They're still called black
Grass.
boys.
They're now known as native grass trees.
Native grass trees. And they had, and Dad would be like, they're $3,000 a pop. So 3, 6, 9. That's how I learned how to count. Was Dad counting how many thousands of dollars worth of.
So if you had a palm tree, and this is a real thing as well. That I actually do it inadvertently. So you hear a rumor of how much a new shopping centre spent to get a palm tree from Queensland. It's 150 grand to get that tree in the middle of the shopping centre.
What
And
I
you
love
go,
is hearing
right, you go home and measure your palm tree in your parents' yard. My parents have got one in their backyard. It's like, ooh, that could be worth a bit.
That's about 10 grand.
End of my street was a old seafood restaurant that got done for salmonella or some kind of food. They fucked up and they got closed down. But then it was a vacant lot for years. But there was these palm trees at the front, and then these builders bought the site and developed it up, and they had to leave. And a lot of buildings that go up and there's some trees, they have to like make sure that they don't fucking kill the plant because it's a part of the development. These guys killed the front big palm tree. Like it's a $15,000 tree, probably more. And so
Yeah, probably more than fines.
they had to replace it. And so, and just one story on the palm trees. In Brighton, there's this huge fuck off house. And it's one of the things that I love bragging about my dad. Like I love, when you know your dad's done something great and you just love telling people. Yeah.
My dad was known as the master at the lights at the drag races. Richard Janssen, the master at the lights. He would always play that one VHS. I think it was only once that it was set. So that's where
So if you've ever gone in Melbourne to the Brighton beach boxes, which is these little huts on the sand in
How much
Brighton,
are they worth each?
$700,000. They're fucking ridiculous.
Is it almost like a donation to the city? Is that how they say it?
No, council, the local council or the government owns them, or the council owns them. So
I thought they're privately owned.
no, so they're. But
is it this whole lease?
Who would have started them, right?
Yeah.
Who would have started them? So it's not like someone just claimed it.
Yeah.
The council would have dropped out long leases and allowed people to build.
Because I saw you getting very bogged down in a conversation with your mum yesterday.
About what?
I think it was your mum on the phone because you were flexing about, went into a thing, they own the building. And that's like, maybe it was maybe it was a lease, but it's a fucking long lease. They've got the...
Interesting though, because it was about a guy who owns a cafe that is huge within a big building where it's almost like a little mall. And it's like... I'll say, turns out the guys own the cafe. And Mum said, no, but blah, blah, blah owns the building. But I was like, yeah, but they own the cafe. And I was like, they own a building inside of another building that's owned by somebody else, which is a weird concept, right? Because it's not a freestanding.
Not really. You own the business, which then owns the lease. So
it's not
a business.
But so I think TJ's point was that he was told by the guy that they own the building.
They own the freehold or whatever. Okay. So it's not a lease, which is the difference, right?
What's a freehold?
Freehold is when you own the building. It comes from I learnt it when I was working in pubs in England. So if it was a freehold pub, it meant the guy who owned the pub business, who ran it, he owned the building.
Freehold. And that's is that like 99? Because I think in the Philippines, for instance, you only own something for 99 years.
Yeah, like villas you can buy in Bali.
Yeah.
That are you're basically just buying a really long lease. Anyway, we digress. The palm trees that are situated on what's it called? Brighton Road? No,
Road?
Beach Road, yeah. It's this big house that just sold for about $10 million. Huge.
$2 million in the palms.
$10 million. The palm trees that line this building, there's probably 5 or 6 of them, huge now. They're like 10, 15 metres tall. Massive. Dad put them in with a bunch of people, and he said that the way they got them was they flew over a plantation and picked them out. And then they had them brought down from Queensland to Melbourne, and then they put them in.
Do you reckon? I mean, that shows an example of sales tactics. Because they really didn't need to fly over.
But maybe.
It's a good experience. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. I thought you were going to say they flew them in and they were sort of I just imagine helicopters and the palms and going in. But sort of...
You fly over a plantation.
I mean, you could do that with real estate. You could say, do a helicopter ride, do a charter and say, we'll show you get to pick just the ones that are for sale. 3D deal. While can you open the live stream on your phone and just see what people are... saying, and if there is anything, feel free to jump in with any thoughts.
And before that, how about we throw to your mum, Derek?
Can you explain this?
Okay. Well, what happened was I was just the other day when I was editing Hang On to Your Hat, my show that I do at Castaway Studios at 7 Easy Street, Collingwood.
That's good.
If you're going to plug, say it clearly.
Yeah, that was a joke plug. But I guess, get ready for the big one later on.
But I think I love any business where you've got to say the address. I've never had a business where you get to say, can you say the address again?
You're right. The address isn't even important.
No, say it.
7 Easy Street, Collingwood.
Great. It sounds like, what's the, hello, it's .com.au, Chris and Murray's Plant Farm, Main Street Emerald, open 7 days. And look out for the tutu out the front.
It's old-fashioned now because you just need to know the name and then you're going to look it up anyway.
But it's 7 Easy?
Yeah.
7 Easy Street.
Easy Street.
It's good.
And so you're editing your podcast.
Anyway, made that up. I wasn't. I basically this morning I had to go and
that was the small plug.
The small plug was a made up story.
yeah.
So we could say the address.
You can just do that. Can we
said
give
the
you
website? I really
do a plug for the next 30 seconds so it's out of the way.
No,
so
I don't
you
want to.
I don't want to hear any more made up stories so you can make a plug. Just say it. Do it. What do you offer? Just quickly.
We are just launching our
He's holding up flyers.
Castaway Studios is an accessible, professional podcasting studio in the creative heart of Collingwood, where I teach, help people, beginners, right through to corporate podcasts, and edit, produce, and open my studio to all kinds of and it is amazing. I've had some most amazing shit I've learnt recording people's shows.
Yeah, you've recorded Michelle Laurie's podcast. There's a lot that you do.
Yeah, and we had the loose units guy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Guys in yesterday doing that. I don't record them. They just use the studio, but it's.
And that's the great thing about your
stuff
studio,
you
right? That they can just come in and
they can, yeah.
record.
And you've got great
once
road
you've done
gear.
this class, which teaches you, I do a class.
So what's
now.
the class? What's the cost of the class, and how do people sign
it's
up?
$120, and I run it on the third Saturday of every month, and it's no more than 4 people in the class, and that gets people familiar with all the equipment and how to run the studio themselves, and it also runs down. I drop as many tips as possible into sort of planning your show and your workflow to make it possible.
And that wasn't made up, all of that stuff.
That's
That's the real
That's
plug.
alive. It reminds me if I remember working on Fifi and Jules, and Jetstar were determined to have someone from Jetstar on the phone.
Really?
That's
and
crazy.
it was always the worst banter because they're like, "Oh, what's the deal today? Oh, hey guys, we've got great deals from Canberra to Melbourne at the moment." It's like, "Oh, thanks, John. Bye, guys."
I've done that. It's
We've got a special on succulents.
We did it with a guy who had a jewellery shop, Shepparton Showcase Jewellers, and he just loved getting on there. He's still there. I drove through Shepparton and heard them.
Really?
Still doing it. Anyway, back to your mum.
Yeah, sorry about that. I feel guilty now because you asked me about my mum and then I went on about myself.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's how life is because what I did, I had to go, my mum's in hospital, right? So she's got some kind of problem with her circulation in her legs or an infection. So she's in hospital. She's okay, right? And the old man's at home. And so I had to go and do a round trip out to Mooralbark to visit the old man, make sure he's all right, got the coping all right, looking after the dog and all that. And
What
offered
would
him
the
$1 million
price
bucks
he
for
did?
that dog.
Good.
I think about a fair bit.
Would
at
he
this
take $1 million
stage.
bucks?
No, I don't reckon he would at this stage.
He wouldn't take $1 million
Yeah.
bucks.
10 years ago, he probably would have taken
Fucking
it.
selfish.
It's too cruel
20
to find out as well. You can't ask.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, so anyway, I went visited the old man, and then I thought, hang on a minute. And I did feel guilty because I was like, oh, Dad, I'm just dropping in just for a few minutes because I'm going to be on the radio.
Oh, great. You
Just
say
say,
radio.
Oh, fuck.
It's too
Explaining
hard to-
podcasts over and over again. There's no point. I'm going to be on the radio, and these guys have got a huge audience. It's going to be really good for my career. Right. And he's like, oh, right. I said, is there anything you want to say to the young folk out there? They've got hundreds of thousands of listeners. They're all young.
Yeah.
Why did Mr. 97 laugh then?
Yeah.
Because they're young. They're not young.
I don't know. I'm guessing. Right? I saw your graph the other day.
That's good.
I decided what the
When you
scale
start at
was.
the bottom, it's quite easy to look.
Yeah, that was awesome. So I said, say something, and I took a video, and he said something. He's got a message for you lot, not yet. And then
Right,
I'm loading it up because you'll take 5 minutes to get into your phone, I reckon.
True. and then I thought, oh, I'll go and see Mum in the hospital. Same thing, Mum. I've only got a couple of minutes because I'm going to be on the radio and the same old patter.
Yeah.
I said, have you got anything to say? And this is where you get an idea of where I'm coming from, because she's going, oh no. So I couldn't work out the audio, so I just put the video on.
Yeah,
Perfect.
great.
And she's gone straight from oh no to this.
Okay, here we go.
Right?
So you're just pulling out your iPhone now. It's the iPhone red one.
All right, Mum, have you got a message for all the gronks out there?
Oh, well, they are just so lovely. And they make me so happy because I'm involved with them in theatre, in local theatre, and they're all young and they include me. And I'm so glad of that. And the stuff that I know that can help them with, but there's the huge enthusiasm and youth and vigour that they've got, which I don't have. And so between us, we get there. But they're really lovely, and I mean, I haven't forgotten that I used to be one.
A gronk.
Didn't I?
Say it.
What do you call them?
Gronks.
Gronks?
No, it's a word that these
Yeah.
guys on this show
I don't
use.
understand the words.
A young person.
But I do remember being young, and it was good, really good.
So what do you reckon they should do to get the most out of their existences?
They should become involved.
In what?
And something attracts them, and they're attracted to it, and they've got something of themselves that connect with something, an organisation or a club or something.
Yeah.
Get connected with it and learn and go with it. Join, get into the world, just be a part of it. That's the only thing I know, is to get involved. People are lovely.
Beautiful.
I'm in hospital and there's 3 other ladies in the ward, and I didn't know them when I came in, but we've been talking, and it's connecting.
Yeah.
It's important. I think, I don't know.
All of this. Thank you. See ya.
That is so good.
There you go, Gronks. There's the life lesson from my mum.
It's the ultimate endorsement for joining the Gronk squad.
Yeah.
I didn't explain Gronk very well to her. I think she thought I meant all young people.
No, but that's the perfect thing, because you just replace, just young people are Gronks. You just replace
have a look
the
at
word.
the old man's one.
Right,
here you go.
This is
Here
going
we
to be quick. Ready?
Okay,
About
here.
here. Hey, where do I put it?
Yeah, I'll take it. All right, here we go.
There we go.
Keep your head down and don't get caught.
There's the difference between my parents.
And then the cute dog there is
That's the $1 million dog.
$1 million.
Million dollar.
Amazing.
3D Has anyone? Have we? What's happening over on the?
There's a few people.
Okay.
There's
We'll
5.
That's good. We didn't say that. Ask for the number.
Yeah, I know. Fuck, he's fucked it. Mr.
Yeah,
97
there's-
fucked it. We said you never mentioned the number.
Yeah. Just
unless
say.
it's.
Is there a? And you don't have to sound reluctant as well. Like we know.
Didn't you ask if anyone said anything?
Yeah. Has anyone said anything?
No
or
one said anything that I can see.
Okay.
I gave a thumbs up.
Guys, if you're watching on the Instagram live, just
By the
don't
way,
be drunk.
did you switch
Be
to
drunk.
Wi-Fi, or are you on my data?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good.
I mean, you've got heaps of data anyway.
Yeah, no, but I just didn't want to go over it. So I don't want to drop 10 gigs.
We got a comment. The High G homeboy says, "Hi guys."
Sup,
Oh, g'day, Jake.
sup, Jake. How are you, bro?
Data, that's a big issue that you have. Derek, talking data.
Don't start me on fucking Telstra.
Okay, we don't have to do that. I'm sorry I said anything.
No, I'd like some more data, thanks. I'm sick to death of it.
Bit of data banter.
Mr. 97, how's your week been, mate?
Yeah, busy, really busy.
It has been a busy week here at Big Media Company. We've all been putting in a good effort. What's been the highlight?
It's pretty nerdy, but getting the storage server that we have upstairs.
Oh, mate. Now you're talking Josh's language.
we can like sign in remotely.
I did see that.
I set up Dill as a user.
Oh, great! You got users going.
Yeah, but I did it so because he normally uses PC, and because he was using the iMac, I set it up so that he could only read, he can't write, to make sure he doesn't fuck up any files accidentally.
On PC.
Yeah, no, on the Mac.
Oh,
on the
so
iMac.
just Dill.
I mean,
in
what we're currently talking about is signing into a hard drive from a phone.
Good weekend
If it
banter.
does it for you guys. What I mean, this is a weird thing that you guys are doing. What's Mr. 97? What's something we don't know about you? Something that like you love. There's a guilty little pleasure. It might be just watching every one of Jason Statham's movies, like I do. I don't know if I've said that. That's one of my guilty pleasures.
Which
Jason
movies?
Statham. He's just done a fuckload.
Name 3.
I can't, but I've watched about 40.
Fast and Furious.
I haven't-
He's in Transformer. The
Transporter?
Transporter.
Yeah, Transporter. There's 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've tried to get us on IMDb as well.
Oh, yeah.
How did that go?
It's a long process. It's so clunky.
Yeah.
But I wanted to fill out, so when you type in the Daily Talk Show on Google,
Yeah.
it has like more data, and Wikipedia is a difficult
Yeah.
one.
Does that mean we'll have IMDb profiles?
Yeah, so I put you down as like a producer, an executive producer, so you'll be that'll be nice.
Is there
But because we're video.
Anything, Mr. Nice Evan?
Probably, I love reading subreddits. Just going through a bunch of Reddits and just reading through all the stuff people are posting.
Do you think it's like as the generation excels in this, media dense and technology dense world, that I look at something like someone's guilty pleasure is doing something online I kind of scoff at? It's like because it's like you can do it from anywhere in the world and you're just like plugged in, right? Which in my mind, I don't know. You're a different generation. Do you see, like, it could be, if you were to say, I'd be impressed by if you were said, yeah, look, you know what? I love going hiking. Like, I love getting out sometimes by myself and just fucking walking through the bush and just like
Or I read one page of an encyclopedia every night.
yeah, just something. I mean, that would be because
Do you
it's
have an
old school.
encyclopedia, Derek?
No, but that would just smack of desperately trying to
Signaling? Like what's it?
trying to do something against what's happening, the ball that you can't stop rolling, which is becoming, everything being on the internet and private time in your phone, like your subreddit. That's
Well,
you're not
what's-
engaging with
okay.
anyone. You're seeing what they've done.
Yeah,
What's something
Do
old school?
Is your
that-
guilty pleasure? If your guilty pleasure was maybe trolling people on subreddit, I'd probably be a bit more impressed.
What's something for you, Derek, that's a bit old school that you can't give up?
Oh,
That you love?
your idea of a bit old school's probably not very old.
Like 2005. What's something from 2005 that you still do? It was a joke.
Not really. I guess I really miss the voice. We've covered the whole big voyeurism thing before, but I do like it. I mean, I like the idea of the Big Brother thing. and
Have you
all that.
seen
I
We
really
Live in
miss it.
Public yet or no?
This is a guy that used to fly up to the Gold Coast to watch the Big Brother eviction night. It's amazing.
Do they have Big Brother in Canada?
Yeah, we do.
It's
You
fucking
still do?
amazing.
Mm-hmm. I don't watch it, but we have it.
I mean, that is 100% a guilty pleasure. And what's even more unique is that you would fly up and have these weekends away with people you met online.
No, they were my friends.
Oh, they were actually your
no,
friends,
no,
but
no.
you dealt with them online. I
See,
thought
that
you
was
met
an
them through a
organic.
Facebook
No,
page.
the whole experience was organic.
Facebook wasn't
It
around
was
then.
people.
Wasn't it?
This was
Oh, right.
2000 and no. This was like
Good question.
no.
What year?
This would have been 2003.
You're right.
Oh,
That-
it's pre-Facebook.
We do have a Facebook group now, a private
You
group.
mentioned that though when we did
the
go
NBBS,
into
but that was
Yeah,
created after
remember?
the whole thing was rolling along,
Okay.
which is a good place to gather. And it's
How'd
still
you-
active. Like when the Big Brother house burnt down a few weeks
You're
back,
still in there.
then someone posted the.
We
one
filmed
of the
with
ga-
Tully Smythe the other day. She's gonna. We're releasing a video.
Is
with
that
her
are we
on
trying to
Milkshake.
flex to?
We know Big
Derek?
Brother people.
I've been following the Tully story. Yeah, she hangs out with. She managed by
Yeah, Genevieve
one of
Day.
your. Yeah.
When you say followed that, what do you mean? Like,
Well, you see them. You see
Have
them
you got
kind
some sort of like string and like pins on a board?
where are they now? Can you give us an
my
update?
creepy basement room where I've got
Yeah.
photos.
Do you know
of
where
them.
Hot Dogs is?
Yep.
Where?
Yeah, I can't tell you right now.
I know
But
where.
can
Yeah,
you
I've
tell
looked it
me?
up.
Can you tell us?
He's a newsreader
Can you tell us a
at a
few
radio,
things?
commercial radio station.
Can you tell us a few things about some of the Big Brother people that might be interesting? Like, what are a few interesting facts?
Well, I really like the idea of following their story and seeing what, like, if someone becomes famous or well known or a bit of a thing, like say Tully or so I don't remember people's names, but there was
Gayla.
a woman that became
Chrissy
there was
Swan.
a footy,
Chrissy Swan. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You know,
Fitzy.
in their
Fitz-
own,
yeah, he
in
was.
their own right, they weren't made famous by Big Brother. They were exposed to a lot of people by Big Brother
When they met,
inadvertently. But Fitzy, maybe that put him in the. He was always going to be a yappy kind of. I always thought he would always have been a success.
that's what people say about Tommy.
because he's chatty and all that.
Well, Tommy's an example. No, but I think people think Tommy's going to be well known by people. He just doesn't know how it's going to happen.
Yeah. See, if Big Brother was around, I would have put Tommy in the Big Brother. house.
Didn't you
It
apply?
wouldn't have been his
Did you
choice.
never apply?
Never applied for
But
Big Brother.
you applied for
I applied for a bunch of other shit.
which
but
one?
I can't
What's it?
remember.
I know
What was it?
the house one,
What was it?
the apartment one,
The block.
the block
Yeah, but that's
with Amy, or who did you apply with?
Amy. Yeah. I mean, you're purely applying for Big Brother to be famous. or to be.
Well, are you saying you were doing the block because you wanted to build?
I wanted a
place?
fucking house. No, Amy wanted to do it, but it's. I don't even think I'm right for reality television. I think I'm
Why?
too fucking. It
Too
sounds
woke.
Well, I think I'm too emotionally intelligent to the moment, right? Like I can't be in a moment and be fucking forget that I'm in this room and
You're a filmmaker,
and
mate.
there's filming going on. Like I don't think I would buy into it. I think they want people who are going to actually forget about that and just fucking, oh, you're pissing me the fuck off. You know, like they get right into it. That's what you want for a reality person. I think I'm thinking too much about everything. How's this looking? How's everyone reacting? Why is it like I would probably prevent myself from going to a place where I'm abusing hot dogs for fucking trying to sleep with Crystal when I fucking wanted Crystal.
Crystal was pretty cute.
I remember
Crystal was a person on
Crystal was the one that couldn't cry, didn't have tear ducts.
Crystal's mum and her, was that a thing? Like they were.
No, I'm thinking of Bree. Do you remember Bree?
Yep.
She was the one that didn't have tear ducts.
It's fucking.
And actually,
There was some smart kids on there.
I got a quirk out of Mr. 97. He's colourblind. I just thought I'd just bring that up.
Okay.
I'm trying to get you to talk more, to be honest. That's all I'm fucking trying to do.
a little bit of prompting.
Yeah.
What about-
Never harms.
What do you?
Okay, let's just dissect the colourblind thing.
Okay.
What colour is this phone? No, I mean that's a thing that has people always said that. As soon as you say I'm colourblind, they say what's that colour?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
And so how did you work out? How did one work out that they're colourblind?
Well, so at the start, it was literally through those tests where you've got the numbers in the circles with all the different dots. And so if you go through it,
Where are these? How am I seeing this?
On the-
literally,
we've done-
optometrist.
No. You can do them on Google. Like
but hang
literally
on.
type in colorblind test.
So let's go before you even step into doing this test. Why? What are you thinking? Are you looking online to go, how can I check if I'm colourblind?
No, you just, like people will just suggest it. Oh, have you seen this? Can you do this? And it's literally,
So
you go to the
no
URL.
issue came up for
No,
you
no.
before that.
No, well, how would I know?
Yeah, this is what I'm trying
So
to
someone
say.
says, "Oh, that color is different to this one." You're like, "No, it's not."
Nah, never.
Okay,
never
so
come
when
up.
you go into the army and shit like that, you can't be colourblind in the army.
and like
so
fighter jets and
some
all
people
that
might
sort of stuff.
work
So now
out
you're a
that
producer
point.
on the Daily Talk Show.
Some people might work out the point
Okay.
of trying to apply.
What does that number say?
Oh my god,
Yeah, I can't see anything in there.
that is the number that Bodhi thinks that's my age. 45. He thinks
Did
I'm
you say that, Derek?
45.
45.
No, I can't see anything in there.
Oh, that's
45.
perfect.
What color is it? Orange.
Yes.
You cannot see anything in that. Can we put this up
No.
on screen
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now for
yeah,
people
yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
sure.
watching on
Yeah, yeah,
YouTube?
we'll put that up. But you
So you
can't see
can't
that's
see-
No, you
45.
can't see anything in there.
Wow.
So this is how it came up.
and
People just
how old? Like, wrap some story on this young fella.
high school would have been in high school. Like actually maybe final year of
69.
looks like
Can you see-
57.
Oh,
Oh, he got it.
he got it.
Like that's piecing it together. But yeah, it was
That's what we're all doing.
final year of I think primary school. We were on a trip to New Caledonia because it was like a. It was
You
like
went to New Caledonia for primary school camp. What
well,
did you say?
no, so it was a French. It was a French
New
study
That's where people go. Like Bree went there
for holiday.
for a holiday. It's
Yeah.
like going to Fiji or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, well,
You went there in primary school.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. I think I went to the fucking Dandenongs.
Mate, yeah, I went to
Yeah.
Chum Creek.
Phillip Island.
Yeah. Is there a fucking
Yeah, no,
flying
so-
fox in
no-
New Caledonia?
No flying fox.
So go on.
No, so we.
Do you reckon
was-
next door's been broken into?
There's
Yeah,
a siren
probably.
going off. You might not hear it.
Yeah, probably.
It's gone.
No, so it was a French trip because we had to learn French in primary school, and so they took like 20 kids away to New Caledonia.
Did your parents have to pay?
Yeah, my older brother did it, and then I wanted to do it as well, and then my younger brother did it. But yeah, it was in New Caledonia. Like people were just like showing me it, and I couldn't see anything, so I just went around like all these different people, just like, can you see this? Can you see this? And I just couldn't see anything.
And did you get a bit embarrassed? Like,
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah,
it's not
No,
something to be embarrassed about. But
No,
when you're
nah,
a kid,
but yeah.
like, you could imagine.
Yeah. No, you're just like, oh, that's so annoying that you can't see it. Like it's no, you do. You feel bad that you can't
Yeah.
see it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you're identifying yourself as different to the kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
100%.
has it? What's changed since you've got older? Like, when did that feeling?
Well, you just can't do anything about it, so you just learn to deal with it. Like, I mean, it doesn't faze me. It hasn't fazed me since probably primary school. But yeah, I don't know. It's not like I can change it. So
Do you know what
and I don't
what's
notice
actually
it in
happening?
real life. So when I went to the optometrist, they said I've got a red and orange, like color blindness, but it's only I see like a few 100,000 different shades of red and orange versus millions.
No, he's bragging. Fucking hell.
No, well, you guys see millions and I see hundreds of thousands.
So you're like 8-bit and we're 10-bit.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Scooter Derek, the
Genius.
what do you find? Like, what is Tom coming home and caring about as a kid? How old's Tom now?
11.
11. What does an 11-year-old care about in 2019? For me, I was caring about pubes. I was fucking traumatized. I didn't have pubes.
It's not work. Nah. At 11.
Well, when did you get them?
Holy hell.
No, well, I didn't have them.
You
But
still
I just
don't?
no, it was when I was. It was year 7 so I was 12.
Yeah.
12
And
and a half,
and I was playing.
13. Yeah.
I was playing golf and people would like show their pubes. Like, yeah, and I was just like so.
Well, that's what you were traumatized by.
Yeah.
Those blokes
That's
flashing.
well, yeah, I was like upset. But
There's always the developed kids.
Mhm.
It's just fucking make you feel shit.
yeah.
It comes along. Like the story, he's coming home with all sorts of misinformation now, and that's sort of kicking
Fake
off
news. What do you mean?
really fake news about human bodies and
Oh, really?
you know what I mean?
Give us
Like they
no,
come
but
over and
seriously.
go, who told you that, mate? And I haven't got any examples, but you know,
He's forgotten,
He'll come
yeah.
home with some, forgotten. But he'll come home with it, you know, something like ridiculous concept of what's going to happen in puberty or whatever, and you go, oh yeah, who told you that? And you can't just go, listen, don't listen to your mates, they're fuckwits. They're full of shit. But it's true. So you got to go, okay, so listen, buddy.
All these mates
remember
fuckwits.
the kid who's all kids are fuckwits, or the kid who's told you this for a fact.
Mhm.
He's heard it from his big brother.
Yeah.
And do you remember that game that you can't call Chinese whispers anymore?
Mm.
I said it's a bit like that. I don't know
Is
what
this
you
like
can.
Indian giving?
Oh, yeah, we discussed that.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
knows?
but
Who
Chinese whispers.
3D deal, look up Chinese whispers,
Yeah.
please, baby boy.
Whispers, that is.
Whispers.
It's one of those ones where you don't know the background. You do now with the Indian giving. Well done looking that up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very.
yeah.
That was insightful.
Turns out
for me.
Louis C.K. has morals.
Yeah.
I know who that is, but
Louis C.K. is the dude who was wanking in front of people, allegedly.
Comedian.
Comedian,
Without, he would get permission, but it was still a bit sus.
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
But
okay.
whack
but
to
he
do that
said
anyway.
it is the worst. It is the most racist thing you can say,
Right.
or most culturally inappropriate thing you can say. That's what he said, and the joke is, well, Louis C.K. says
got a few
that.
things wrong.
Yeah.
So what I'm curious, I want to deep dive into what Thomas is coming back with from
No, I'm
information.
not going to have anything because I don't have a memory for that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's definitely completely like outrageous and wrong.
But is he like, he obviously needs a phone? Like kids are saying, I want a phone.
Oh, he's obsessed. Yeah. So I wanted to give my daughter a phone for
How
her
old's Clover?
birthday because she doesn't have that same obsession with tech.
Mhm.
You
How
know,
old is
as-
she?
9.
Okay.
But I didn't want to give it. I wanted to give her an iPod.
Mm.
Right. So I had to have a talk with the boy. I said, look, we've got a problem here because we've got this kind of hierarchy of tech,
Mhm.
of old tech, this hand-me-down sort of vibe. And I said, I've given you the iPod Nano, right, a year or two ago. I got a problem. I want to give Clover an iPod Nano, but there's no way I'm going to go buy an iPod Nano. That's outrageous.
Yeah. Can you get
So-
them still?
I don't know. Imagine on the second-hand market.
If anyone's got them, it's Mr. 97, and he's been lent it from his mate, but he's selling it. He's fucking selling
Yeah,
it.
he's got
They're,
six.
they're in the drawers. Like if I didn't have kids, I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
have
sure.
fling one at a kid out of my drawer.
Yeah. Fuckhead.
Yeah, fuck off, you fuckhead. Anyway, so I've taken, and I've had a big talk to him. I said, look, I can't give. I know I can't give her the old iPhone 4 or 5 or whatever it is, and set up as an iPod because I know you'll crack it. He goes, rightly so. I will go bananas.
Wait, so what was he concerned about? The 4 or 5? Say that again.
He couldn't bear it. He couldn't emotionally cope if I gave Clover a phone, even if it's
okay, yeah.
been reborn as an
So
iPod.
he's got the Nano.
He's got the Nano.
Yeah, you can't
so I
fuck
said,
with that.
why don't you give her the Nano for your birthday and then we'll see what happens in the future. It's the only way to open up the proper hierarchy of
But there's going to be a time where he has no
So he
iPod.
did.
And so he's got nothing at the moment.
He said, I don't know where it is. I've lost it.
He lost the Nano.
So he gave her for her birthday the rights to own his lost iPod.
This is the thing, they're so expensive, dude. I found an iPhone in the playground. Actually, I didn't find it. A guy came up to me and said, "Is this yours?" And I was like, "Mate,
Yes.
give it to me." And I'm like, "Call home," and then it just rang home, and I gave it back to him. And he's like, "Hello, I found your phone." And then turns out this little monkey kid who's just always jumping around, hanging on the bars, long hair. He's so interesting. He was spying on me once. Anyway, it was his
Wait,
phone.
where did this go? This story. So wait,
It's just this kid. So
that's
this
spying
kid
on
that
you?
always hangs at the park. He's a young dude,
How old?
long hair, probably like 11, probably similar age as your son, and he's always scooting around. But anyway, turns out he's got a mobile phone that he just dropped. He's like, oh yeah, there it is. But these kids don't connect that it costs a shitload of money. To
Even the old ones. It's like,
Yeah.
this is fucking...
Well, you're not going to get
Hundreds of
an old
dollars.
new one. So you're done. Chinese Whispers, 3 to deal.
Yeah, Chinese Whispers is an inaccurately transmitted gossip game, which refers to a sequence of repetitions of a story, each one differing slightly from the original, so that the final telling bears only a scant resemblance of the original. It's like I would call it broken telephone.
Okay.
Is that the Canadian name for it?
I guess so.
Yeah, okay.
You get a bunch of people in a circle. One of them has a message. You pass it around. Each person passes it, and then it's like what gets distorted.
And are you allowed to say it nowadays, or you
Does
don't
it
know
say
that?
just type that in? See, culturally inappropriate. Chinese Whispers. See what happens. There'll be some left-leaning media outlet.
It says it's an ongoing struggle. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to read into this.
No, that's fine.
It sounds like it's. I mean, there's probably just whispers.
Well, because
in
Chinese Whispers,
China.
I think you even did in school, right?
It's like an improv game. You want to see how much
Yeah.
bullshit gets it.
What's
the
funny?
end.
with
I
that?
just got Tommy. It's just whispers in China.
It's like French onion soup
Yeah, but
in France.
But like Indian giving it could well have a background in something
It's
that's,
probably
that's
got-
rude. Like,
Well,
oh,
it's
we are,
probably
'cause
like
it's-
emperor time of like, whispers going around the fucking
do you know what a furphy is? This is good.
furphy.
Yeah,
a
it's a
furphy is a beer, blue,
Right, in
out of
your-
Shepparton. Furfies.
Yeah. But do you know
Furphy
what,
family.
You know what else is out of Shepparton?
What? SPC.
The furfies, which are cast iron water tanks.
Like yes.
On carts. Like you can see them on farms. Like my brother-in-law's got a couple of old furfies.
Yeah.
And they were made in Shepparton.
Yeah, by the Furphy
and
family.
Hence the furphy beer now.
Yeah.
Right? But a furphy means a story that's might not be quite true. Like the back end of a Chinese whisper. But it's not a game that kids play in Cub Scouts. So a furphy is a bit of a story that you've heard off someone that he's heard.
Yeah.
Right? It's known as a furphy. And you know why?
Why?
Because of the water lines. So the cart would bring this water tank maybe in a war or something, and the soldiers would queue up with their cups for a drink of water to get some water, and also on the workers, the shearers and the farmers. So there was a huge line of all the blokes waiting for water, and the stories would work their way back in the line, and that's where all the people would be together, all sharing stories that kind of got all mixed up from back home or from back in Melbourne. And so the furphy line was where all these old stories would...
Were they accurate or not accurate?
well, no, that's the point. It's
They weren't
probably a
accurate.
bit mixed up by the time they
So they're
got to-
Chinese Whispers, what you've described.
It's like the real version of the Chinese
Well, we
Whispers
don't know
as
whether
played by the
Chinese
old-
Whispers is real or not. That's, I guess, what we're trying to work out today.
What do you mean?
Well,
It's real. That's what they called it. They said,
Chinese
hey,
Whispers was what it
they'd
was
sit you
called.
down in primary school and say, let's play Chinese Whispers.
Yeah, I remember playing it.
Yeah.
at school.
But what you're saying is the difference between furfies and Chinese Whispers is furfies actually happened.
It's the real world. Yeah. The notion of Chinese Whispers happened to create furfies.
Okay.
All I know
It
is
wasn't deliberate.
I'm glad I wasn't alive all those years ago.
I wish I was. I wish in the 1800s.
Oh, dude, you would
Ballarat.
have been absolutely destroyed.
No, because everything would have been
Where's your
so
currency?
simple.
Where's your currency? Back then, it was all hands on, buddy.
Jester.
What, the Joker?
Joker, yeah.
He gets
No,
pushed
but
off the horse.
No, but seriously, I think that it would be in, there would have been more of a business for theatre.
Well,
Don't you think?
Definitely.
I think like Derek's got a lot of Sovereign Hill vibes. Like
Yeah,
you
but
would.
Derek can fucking
love
build a
Sovereign
house
Hill.
with his bare hands. He could take a
10
car apart and put it back together.
But there's
with
no
his
cars,
eyes
bro.
closed.
Bro, no cars. He's got to deal with horses
Mate.
and carts.
He could build the cart.
Yeah.
He would invent.
You would do the
invest
iron
in-
work.
Actually,
You do the iron work.
nah. Sorry,
But then you'd
I've gone
also be
back.
helping the economy with the red
Yeah.
drops. You'd buy a lot of raspberry drops.
I reckon you could be. You know, in those
So good.
Western.
what's
No
the lemon-
humbugs for me. It's all raspberry drops.
Nah, you definitely would have been. Or I mean, I could see you inventing something, Josh. You know, like you're
I'm not
that.
smart enough.
You don't think? You just
Like,
take
what
what
would
people.
I?
I don't know, some process, some weird thing. I've worked out how to trap the water running down this. Like I feel like you'd stumble upon an
No,
invention.
I'd be media. I'd be media. I'd be doing the news stuff. I'd be typing. I'd be a journalist.
using
I'd
a
be
pen.
taking like the big, like what do they have? Photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
with the
Stick of
gunpowder.
deadwood. Yeah,
They had gunpowder and shit back
That's
in the
right.
day.
This big cloak thing over their heads and
I'm pretty sure Derek
That'll
still
work.
uses one of those
Have you-
cameras at his studio.
Have you taken
7 megapixels, mate.
Have you taken the kids to Sovereign Hill?
Not yet, but I love Sovereign Hill. I'm triggered by Sovereign Hill in
Why?
a good way. I love it.
What's the
I got gold fever when I was a kid. Flat out, they couldn't get me away from the creek.
really?
You know, you used to probably can still. You can you pay the money and you go down by the creek
Mhm.
and
At
they
Sovereign
give you
Hill.
a bucket, a gold
A
pan,
pan,
full
yeah.
of dirt
Pan.
that's got gold flecks in it already, worthless little bits of gold in it.
Were they worthless?
They give you yes.
Well, I fucking bought the container to hold it in. That's
Yes,
how
so
they
did
get
I.
you.
But they once you do that, you pan it and then they give you a little container and you put the gold flecks that you found in there. It was like, no, I'm not finished yet. And I was digging more dirt and
Yeah.
not realizing that the gold is already in the dirt. They've put it in there for kids.
Have they?
That creek's been mined by kids for
Yeah,
40
yeah.
years already. There's no
Yeah,
gold
pretty-
in the creek.
Pretty
So is it
consistent
glitter?
mining.
No, it's gold.
It is actual gold.
It has to be gold because the panning gold is heavier. It's like lead,
Mm,
right? So the way panning works is you shuffle it around in the water and the gold works itself to the
Tell
bottom.
us some other facts about gold.
I don't know. What's the?
it's soft.
Is it
conductor.
AG? There's some kind
Conductor.
of gold. What's
It's-
the gold symbol? 3D deal.
AU. It's
AU.
AU.
It's AU.
AU. So it's very
Well done.
Australian gold. Green
Yeah, but-
gold.
79.
But isn't it the highest conductor? I don't know how to say the term, but it runs the best conductor along with copper, isn't it?
Like being the most conductive
Well, they
metal
Most conductive metal, but it's so expensive and weaker.
in its purest form.
But it
yes.
is yeah.
But with electroplating, you don't need that much. Like the tips on this connection here will have gold in it.
Yeah, we gold plated them.
Yeah. Because you're gangsters.
Derek, you've listened to the show for a while.
Yeah.
We used to do something called Close the Loop, where there was a time where we would say something and then would actually, at another date, pick it up and close that loop.
Yep.
Out of the 392 episodes that we've done,
Yep.
Is there any loop closing that you could think that you could do today?
If I could record, I often, when I've got your show on, grab for my phone and I go, and I just want another new tech. I want there to be a next level of podcast where you just press the button like the guys out there on the Instagram or whatever, but you can somehow just quickly get an argument back. You know, people say I was
You're riled
talking
up
to your
on it.
podcast
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
car.
Yeah.
And you guys are struggling pronouncing a word or something, and I just go, "What the fuck's that?"
There has to be a way that we can have an app
Web
where you
RT
listen to
saying
the
Web RT.
daily talk show and you got the thing and there's a press button you can literally just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
and rebut and it time codes it.
Yeah.
And so it literally will just a pause
Yeah.
on that time.
I want that so bad.
Build it.
Do you know, last night walking home from work,
Pouring rain? Didn't it
not
fucking-
too bad. I had my North Face jacket on.
Yeah.
But I was using Spotify. No more free Spotify. Free Spotify. Are you using free Spotify?
No. We've got one account. So if
Are you
Amy's
using free
it-
Spotify?
I used to, and they broke me. They broke
they
me, and I
broke me
started
within.
paying.
They broke me within 5 songs.
the problem is, Josh, you went from having fucking platinum Spotify,
Premium.
which-
I didn't.
whatever it
I
is.
didn't know, but I didn't understand. I thought, I can deal with a few ads, and so that's fine.
Yeah.
And so I listened to a lot of random playlists. I was listening to Disney soundtrack
Yeah.
playlist, just random Disney songs. And so I'm pressing play. And the thing is, Disney has a diverse range of music. They've got everything from Lion King to Frozen, Toy Story, all that shit, right? And so there's certain ones that I connect with and there's just certain ones that I don't. And so I'm trying to click next and it's not letting me click next. And then it says, not only that, it's then giving me an ad to say, come back. Not only try premium, but it's come back to Spotify Premium. They knew I left.
Yeah, of course they did.
And so they're going fucking harder on me.
Fuck, you know what's amazing? The stories we tell ourselves. Yesterday in the office, I heard Josh say something around the lines of, I actually love hearing what ads are being played. It's great sort of research to understand what ads are being pushed to me.
I like ads, but all they're doing is saying, come back.
Yeah, no, they're not actually. You fucked up. You fucked up. Come back to premium.
The only other ad that I'm hearing at the moment, they're doing a big push is, I reckon I'm the reason why they've done it too. 131 444.
What is
you know
that?
what 131 444 is, Derek?
No idea.
Can we just call it now? If I just call it on Derek's
Definitely
phone?
not.
Don't.
3D deal. Can you actually type in 131 444?
Yeah, it's the police assistant line.
Oh
Yes.
no, we don't call it. I won't call it. Jesus.
And so this is, it's their whole tagline is when sirens aren't needed. And I said to
I like
Pete,
that.
right?
I like that.
And so Pete, I was walking with Pete Shepherd the other day.
Tall Gronk.
Tall Gronk. And I said, 131 444. Have you seen that? He goes, oh, no. It just says like when no sirens are needed. And his first thought was, is it if you need them to sneak up?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No.
That's not my first thought. It's when it's not an emergency. Reporting your car going missing doesn't require sirens fucking hooning here. It's to uncongest the lines. There's a massive problem with
If someone breaks
people
into your
just
house,
calling. There's a massive problem with Gronks like Josh who get on 000 at the fucking drop of a coin.
4 times this year. I've called 000.
Exactly. So
but they've all been important things.
No, okay.
One
Yeah.
guy got stabbed, another person got their head beat in. So there was a ram raid.
Ram raid you could probably call no
Are you
sirens.
fucking
needed.
kidding me?
Yeah, they'd run off. What's happened? Anyone hurt?
There is
Nah. Jesus, this is the problem, right?
they had
needed some
tape around the
education.
whole thing.
Doesn't matter.
Are you fucking kidding me? Out of those 4 things that happened, the one
Yeah.
that you think doesn't need
Definitely.
sirens.
The dude who gets punched, you call the cops. The person who got stabbed, call the cops. Sirens. The
Mid-ram raid where there's a car stuck into the shop.
I mean, this is evaluating the situation in the moment. That's why I didn't get a fucking ambulance for 3D Dill's finger.
Exactly.
It's you
Just
just
because you were thinking of the...
No, I was thinking about is he dying? Is there a lot of blood? If there was
Is he dying?
if there was like
That's
fucking
the bench.
gushing blood, I would have called an ambulance.
If I had
and
cut
said,
an artery, then absolutely.
Of course, but yeah, it's Have you done a bad injury? Just to finish off, have you done a bad injury before? Scooter Des.
Not really. No.
That's
Well, I did
I'm so glad.
I did a very similar to Dill one.
Well, because you're a
When I
man
was
that
young, I
uses
was
his
cutting
hands.
pumpkin and the knife went sideways.
Oh.
The whole top of my thumb came off, but it wasn't as bad as him because it wasn't kind of down attacking the bone. It was like right off the end. It was like a little egg. You know when you were a kid and you chop the top of the egg off and open it? Put the toasty soldiers
how
in?
do you do that? So I've been having issues with that lately at home because the fucking eggshell goes into the egg yolk.
You just have to tough it out. And then
Do you do it
take out
hard? Do you use a spoon or do you use a knife?
No, knife. For spoon, people are fuckwits.
Just like Tom's kid.
Yeah. I've seen it. When I was a kid, you go to someone else's house and they'd have their boiled egg and everything.
Yeah.
And they'd get a spoon and go,
Dude,
tat, 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 tat,
let me
tat,
tell
tat,
you-
tat,
let me
and
tell
tap
you.
it a million
Yeah.
times to shatter it.
I mean,
It's like, no, just get a knife and just go for it.
coddled eggs. Heard of them?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
It's basically doing exactly what you're doing to the boiled egg, the soft boiled egg. But you crack the eggs into this little, like say it's like that, has a little screw top lid on with a little hook, and you pop it into hot water. It's beautiful. You would love it. And then you just cook it, but then you untwist the top, and then you got like you can dip bread in, or you can just use a spoon. So it's basically what the
Mix it
inside.
with cheese and a bit of
Yeah,
feta
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
like
We
You-
should get a
We could
egg
do that
cooker here.
Yeah.
It would smell.
Yeah, true.
But-
Actually, no.
We've had enough issues. We
We've
had a
had-
cauliflower issue.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you hear that we found out from 3D Dill what was causing the issues?
I fixed it.
What was it?
When we had the really bad rain the other night,
Mm.
power went out, and when the power went out, the freezer obviously stops working, right? So the cauliflower had thawed, liquid had leaked out and was pooling up in a little cavity at the back of the fridge.
I mean, for one, no one told me about the fucking power
I didn't
outage.
know
Yeah,
that
no
went
one
out
told me
either.
either.
I didn't know the power went out until I thought about it.
Number two, had the power go out and come back on.
It just does.
So,
What do you mean?
so
Turn
no,
it-
no, no.
just
So
turn
there
it-
was no. So the power just didn't go. It didn't flick. You didn't trip a switch.
No,
or
no, no.
There's
something.
a
no, the
grid.
power just
it's
gone.
it's
Yeah.
a surge.
And so do we know this for a fact that there was this?
Not
power surge?
100% fact,
Okay,
but
so there
it
you go.
makes
That's
sense.
what I'm saying. I'm saying
It's
the only
probably
way
on
you
Twitter or
truly
something.
know if there was a power outage would be if there was a fucking
Your
it-
clocks
no,
are
no.
flashing 12.
yeah. There has there
No,
has
but
to be a
it's not
way.
going to switch off.
But we still don't know. I don't
well,
think.
our
I don't
security
know if it was.
cameras.
I don't know if it was 100%.
They go off.
That's
You can
good.
look at power
At the
outage.
moment,
Mate, this
yeah.
is a guy who knows more about power than all of us right here.
What do you know about power?
Oh, not a great deal.
No,
but
bullshit.
life
Bullshit. So
experience.
my point is, I don't know if that is 100% true. How do we know?
No, it goes off at the if it just goes off like it's an exterior power cut, all your power goes off, then comes back on again.
Yeah. So
If you turn
you're
it
saying
off
that's
at your
happened.
mains,
It would have had to been off for quite some time.
That's what I would think.
yeah, to
not
defrost
100%
something,
I'm not 100% on.
that's like a 12-hour power cut to make
Yeah.
cauliflower melt.
Yeah.
That's what
Why
I'm
is it
saying.
cauliflower in the freezer anyway? Just a question.
Or
Snacks.
our freezer here at the office, it's a bar fridge freezer.
Someone's what the true story is, someone's accidentally unplugged the fridge. This is what it always turns out to be. And they've plugged it back in and go, there must have been a power outage. I'm not pointing any fingers.
No. Scooter Derek.
Sorry, mate.
Thank you for coming on Weekend Banter
Oh,
for a
kicked
Saturday.
off.
You haven't been kicked off. Do you want to come in on Sunday as well? Do you want to?
I'd love to, but I got to take an 11-year-old to footy.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I don't know what would be more fun.
I'll go to footy if you want.
You want to take Tom to footy?
Nah, definitely not.
Is Bodie going to play footy?
Yeah, definitely. First thing's jiu-jitsu.
T-ball.
Whoa.
T-ball.
Joe Rogan.
Nah, I just want him to just grapple. Just be able to. Martial art, something he can do a lot. Doesn't have to.
T-ball.
Definitely not T-ball, mate. I
What's
don't want him
T-ball?
coming out anything like you.
It's like a
Hitting it off the
softball, but
stand.
you have a stick.
Was that kids that are afraid of the ball hitting
No,
them?
it's just what you start off with.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
It's the Daily Talk Show. Hi at thedailytalkshow.com if you want to send us an email. Also, the dailytalkshow.com's site is fucking chooching.
Yeah. I'm
The
surprised that
stats-
all the people are on there.
There's so many people that are visiting, and also you can
great.
sign up to Gronk Squad.
Yeah.
We're going to start sending out emails very soon.
It's a nicer home to watch it than YouTube, I think,
Mm.
because it's just pulling from YouTube. But I saw a few screenshots that people had put up, and it was nice because then you can see other content like
Yeah. Click around and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, it's the Daily Talk Show. We'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Weekend Banter.
See you guys.